Tesla stock is down 8.5% today, but it's probably not because of what you think. And honestly, I love this. Today was actually the first time that I have bought more Tesla stock in at least the last couple of months. The last time I was buying was right before the election. And specifically, it's these kind of headlines that are very manipulative, very much out of context, that hit the algos and just cause havoc with Tesla stock. But you should find comfort in this. Tesla sales, quote unquote, tank 45% in Europe as rival offerings and Musk blowback hit demand. Look at this shirt. Look at this shirt. We got this shirt too. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's great. This headline is false in every way imaginable. And here in this video, I'll explain really what's going on. Take a listen to this. It says, only 9,945 Tesla EVs were registered in Europe, down from 18,161 a year ago in January. Meanwhile, overall EV sales jumped 37.3%, indicating that EV demand was strong, but just not for Tesla. Germany, the UK, and the Netherlands saw the biggest gains in EV sales. Okay, this is like Apple, okay? If Apple is launching a new iPhone September 1st, August sales are going to suck for the, let's call it iPhone 16. They're not going to be good, especially if it's, you know, a new iPhone at a similar price. Like, you should see this happen. This is supposed to happen, okay? I think the bigger news is the strength in the EV market, at least in Europe, as per this data. This means that Tesla is going to have a really strong start to the new Model Y sales as they are now starting to kick off. And this is, I mean, explained with this chart. Roland Percher on X shares this chart of Tesla's China's weekly sales data per model. And you could see really in the last 4 weeks or so, there has been very little as far as Model Y activity. But look at the Model 3. The Model 3 actually looks really good following Tesla or China's Lunar New Year, right? After that kind of period, which you can see right here, you actually have Model 3 sales that have rebounded nicely. As, you know, you always see a drop during China's Lunar New Year. Well, there's virtually no Model Ys. This highlights, in a very easy way to see, what I'm talking about. People are not going to go out and buy the Model Y, the old one, when the new one's coming out. It was, I guess, rumored that there was over 200,000 pre-orders for the Model Y. This was like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. I imagine that number is much higher today. And I mean, what do you notice about this chart? The Model Y is the best-selling vehicle in the world. The Model Y, you know, sells 2, 3, 4, 5 times more in some weeks than the Model 3. You're going to see sales accelerate for Tesla. These headlines are non-events. They just cause the algorithms to freak out. So that is part one of why Tesla stock sold off so much today. But part two is something that you may have not noticed today. Maybe you did. And really what's starting to happen right now in markets is you're starting to see a growth scare and or a liquidation. U.S. Treasury Scott Besson says U.S. economy is brittle underneath due to excess spending by the Biden administration. And all the focus recently has been on how tariffs are going to cause inflation. But we woke up this morning and said, nope, you're actually going to see a hit to growth from tariffs. TLT is up 1.5% today. It gapped up today. 10-year treasury yields plummeted today, over 9 basis points. This is a growth scare. And while you have the algorithms reacting to a 45% drop in deliveries in January in the EU, you also have a growth scare. And when you have a growth scare, auto companies by nature do not do well, but also momentum does not do well. Tesla is deemed a car company still by Wall Street. It is momentum. It has a high beta, in other words. And you have this growth scare. I mean, all of this put together with the scary headlines today, and I am not surprised one bit that Tesla is down, 8% or so. But the real question is this something to react to? Is this just market's emotions, getting the best of them? Has anything changed for Tesla? And the long story short answer is things have actually gotten better for Tesla. And that is why I bought Tesla today. It's not just because the stock fell. I don't really care what happens to a stock price. I don't buy a stock because of the stock price. I buy a stock because of, what the stock is doing, right? If it's a good deal. But the most important aspect is the value. Has the story changed? Has the business gotten worse? Has it gotten better? Like, just because a stock falls 30% on earnings does not mean it's a good buy. If the story changed, right? If the growth aspects changed. So Tesla has fallen monstrously, I think is a word that we can use, from all-time highs. Tesla is down, at the time of recording this video, almost 38% from all-time highs, and the business has actually gotten better. I don't think this has ever happened before, where Tesla has fallen almost 40% and things have gotten better and gotten more bullish for Tesla. There's a lot of emotions, sure. People are concerned about Elon spending too much time at Doge. That does not matter, okay? People are worried about brand destruction. You're not seeing that. That's not happening. I've made the argument on this channel that actually Elon taking a more right-wing approach to politics, branching away from the left-leaning individuals that already are, by and large, the EV adopters, and branching into, appealing to a new set of audiences could actually be a positive for Tesla brands and Tesla's sales. That's yet to be seen. We will see that over the next coming quarters. That's my opinion. I don't think it's actually brand negative. And Tesla deliveries are falling in January because it would be like buying an iPhone 16 at the same price as an iPhone 17 4 weeks before the iPhone 17 launched. If you microanalyze Apple the month before a new iPhone comes out, iPhone sales can be down a lot. Like, if the algorithms reacted to that with Apple would get decimated the month before a new iPhone came out. So that's a non-event. In fact, what you've actually gotten recently is the Model Q coming faster than expected. Tesla's entering the Indian market, which is going to be massive over time. FSD is launched in Mexico. The Cybercab confirmed is on track to launch in June and many other areas of the US this year. I mean, there has been zero bad news for Tesla. And I know that sounds crazy, and if you don't understand that, then, maybe you need to go, not to be a dickhead, but go read a book, Intelligent Investor, maybe do some psychology of money. Maybe this one would help you as well. You weren't supposed to see that, or the 33 Laws of Human Nature, or maybe this one that I'm reading is actually really good for you. The Diary of a CEO, although it's not really about the stock market. per se. It's more about psychology of making money. You know, you need to go read a book or something. If you are seriously mad at that statement, if you are mad at the statement, there has been no bad news for Tesla, you need to go read a book. Because there just hasn't been. And I know, this sounds crazy, because Tesla's down 40%. Okay, maybe there's something we're wildly missing, but I don't think that's the case. In fact, you guys are going to hate this. And yeah, if you're a Tesla bear, you're really going to hate this news. The FSD version currently rolling out in China today is V13.2.6. Hardware for vehicles will be supported first. Tesla China is not officially calling it FSD. They are calling it autopilot, automatic assisted driving on urban roads. That's a mouthful. But it's effectively FSD. Just a week ago, it was reported that, quote, Elon can't seem to get full self-driving approved in China. Subtitle here, it's yet again another blow for Musk's company. That aged terribly. Consequently, on a day in which we have this really great news that FSD is available in China, you have the 45% tanking of sales news in Europe, which again is completely out of context. I think most logical investors that have a couple brain cells understand what I'm saying. And if you don't, if you're angry in the comment section, like, you know, that you should kind of evaluate that, because all of this information is factual, right? You should expect sales to tank 50% 2 weeks before a new model is launched, right? That should happen. That is healthy, okay? Some people, man, these headlines are just frustrating because it just sends the algos into a panic mode. Algorithms, quants, if you will, computers, control about 80% of the volume on markets on any given day, including a stock like Tesla. Tesla, at the time of recording this video, has volume today of 86.5 million shares. Probably 60 million of this, 50 million of this or so, is algorithms. And what did they do today? They automatically started selling once these headlines started to circulate. Guys, it's a non-event. The good news will catch up to Tesla. And we are starting to get some videos coming out with FSD being used in China. The official Tesla X account reposted this one. It says FSD in action in Beijing and being live streamed. Testers' initial impression. They think it's more human-like, smooth, and confident compared to other similar Chinese systems, also capable of self-correcting if missing turns or planned routes where other systems may be hesitant. So you're already hearing very positive things coming out of FSD from China, which is spectacular considering it launched just a couple of hours ago. Jemaya on X says Tesla releasing FSD into China without local training is a testimony to the strength of the driving model. I'm surprised that this is possible today. Bravo. Elon Musk comments and says, we just used publicly available video on the internet of roads and signs in China and used that to train in simulation. That is fucking insane. Wow. They just use videos from the internet, like random videos, and put it in a simulation and trained a car to drive itself in real time on a real road. Think about how wild that is. And then think about how crazy it is. Tesla is down 8% today. Dude. I mean, you gotta buy that dip. That's not financial advice. That may not work for everyone. You obviously have to have a high risk tolerance if you buy Tesla. But this thing is a literal gold mine. I think a lot of people are also forgetting that as more people buy FSD in China, as they hear about it and they buy the product, you know what that's going to do for Tesla's profitability? A lot. It's 80-90% net margin, somewhere in that range. And it's going to boost Tesla's EPS quite a bit. Again, if you consider half of, the people that get FSD may just buy it outright. Consider that's like, what, $5,000, I think, currency adjusted. You're looking at $750 million from that perspective. Times that by a 90% margin, 675 million divided by 3.3 billion shares outstanding. And you're looking at around 21 cents boost to profitability, which, who cares what the number is in the grand scope of things? The stock is down massively on really good news. And I do not think that's going to last. Something else that I will point out is Tesla is now officially oversold on the RSI. Back to a very important level of support around this 300 level today. Usually when you hit oversold on the RSI, it's a good time to buy Tesla. Last time that happened was on February 11th. Tesla bounced 2.5% the next day and then 6% the day after. You went from about $325 per share up to $367 per share the following week. So not always do you see a huge bounce, but normally you bounce when you get oversold on the RSI. And I think from a trading perspective, that makes a lot of sense to go out and buy here. But also, you're back to the levels you were at on November 7th. Okay? And that's when the rally really started for Tesla. And, let's face the facts as well. If we continue to see a growth scare like we're seeing today, and some of you guys may say, oh, this wasn't a growth scare. This was a growth scare / liquidation. You can see this in two specific assets. Oil is down 2.5% because of growth concerns. Oil is one of those things that directly is connected to the consumer. If there's concerns of a recession or growth slowing down, oil is going to fall always. Okay, so that's happening today. Gold is down 1.5%. Sounds like a liquidation to me. Sounds like a growth scare to me. Some could even say margin calls to a certain extent. But as bonds continue to fall, 10-year treasury yields down 9 basis points today, that inevitably will be a positive for Tesla stock and for markets broadly. I can also report to you guys, again, even though Tesla is down 7.5% today, and go figure, I have to re-log in here and re-pull it up. Last I checked, there was hundreds of thousands of shares being covered today from hedge funds and institutions. Take a look at this. 622,000 shares today are being covered. No, short sellers are not shorting the stock, they're covering. This has been basically an everyday occurrence. Every day, short sellers cover on short positions. If I'm looking at this correct, we will get a new short interest reading from the SEC coming on Friday. And we were already at the lowest short interest in Tesla's history on February 11th. I think that's going to plummet even further. And for the first time ever, you're likely going to be under 2% short interest of free float. That is very bullish. Currently, you're at 2.13%. Now, option activity for Tesla is at 51% positive order value. Definitely not the most bullish day, but again, in context, the stock is down huge. So the fact that you're not seeing like a terrible day in the options market is kind of incredible. You have seen 969 different trades totaling $624.43 million with a positive order value of 51%. I actually did just go out and make an options trade as well on Tesla. Never financial advice, but if you guys want to see that trade, check out the link down below in the description of this video to join the trading community. Now, also in the news today, Elon Musk shared this to his X account. It is a video here from someone in Israel that works at a Tesla showroom that says, here, an Israeli shares that in Israel, no one is calling Elon Musk a NAZI. Instead, people are more focused on their incredible Teslas, especially the new Model 3 and the Model Y. And he actually says people in Israel love Elon. Also see today, the Cybercab testing is ramping up at Giga Texas with multiple individual cars driving around the factory nonstop. Joe Tetmeyer shares a short clip capturing a fraction of the activity that he actually observed. At least one Cybercab was equipped with a steering wheel, most probably for testing purposes, but it is an interesting development. And now we even do have the first FSD U-turn in China. It looks like this is some kind of like Twitch streaming platform where this individual is, live streaming his FSD driving in China. And all the bears are going to hate this one. Deliveries of the new Model Y start tomorrow in China. And it is being reported that the Chinese Shanghai factory is already producing about 2,000 Model Ys per day now for the last couple of days. We did have some economic data as well today. Nick Timmerhouse shares consumer attitudes about the labor market, which brightened in the fourth quarter, have dimmed in January and in February. The Conference Board's labor market differential, the share who see jobs plentiful minus those who say they're hard to get, is holding around 2017 levels. So basically, people say it's harder to get a job now than it was before, which we kind of already know that. And here you can see US February CB consumer confidence falls to 98.3, estimate 102.7, previous month was 105.3. This is the lowest since April of 2024. Scott Bessent also said today that he is paying particular attention to the 10-year Treasury yield, believes that Trump's policies should reduce it, which is obviously good for Tesla. It'll make borrowing cheaper. And also, Bloomberg's Magnificent 7 index extends its fall from a record to 10% loss. So you are in a correction in your Mag 7 stocks. Also, just not to help out any of the growth concerns, today Home Depot reported not so optimistic about 2025. Add them to the list with Walmart and Amazon, and they said here comparable sales growth of approximately only 1% for the comparable 52-week period. And they say that consumers are really reluctant to make those large remodels. They're just not doing much of that anymore. And also, Joe Tetmeyer shared this clip yesterday at Giga Texas. It appears that a Model Y is equipped with LiDAR on the roof. And it's doing some maneuvering here. Not exactly sure what this is for. I don't think Tesla's in any rush to adopt LiDAR, but it could be helping to train the systems. Also in the news today, Tesla will acquire parts of the insolvent German high-tech parts maker Manz AG, including more than 300 employees at its site in Rollingen City in the southwest, the German company said on Tuesday. Bernard Lee has recently left Tesla after nearly 16.5 years with the company. He joined Tesla in 2009 as a design manager. He was promoted to senior manager of vehicle design in 2020, helping to design the refreshed Model X in 2021, the new Model 3 and the Cybercab. He also helped design nearly every other vehicle Tesla has released. And also in the news today, again, part of these scary headlines, there were 6,900 new Teslas that were insured in China last week. But again, this is virtually with 0 Model Ys. So the number is actually pretty good considering it's mainly just Model 3s. And again, we'll talk more about this in depth in the next video, specifically what could be coming next for Tesla. If we do not bounce, what levels we should really be watching out for, and much more. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.